Most of you by now know that I work at VIP Mortgage. A lot of you may not know why or how I got there. For us as LOs, we have a lot of options, and for me, VIP Mortgage was the perfect fit and the best place, in my opinion, to work. So if you have any questions about VIP Mortgage as an LO, or if you are a consumer and you're looking for a mortgage, you can reach out to me on social media, or you can reach out to anybody else that you may know at VIP Mortgage. And our website is vipmtginc.com. Hey, Andrew.
Hey, Ryan.
Good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Pleasure.
Appreciate it. Yeah. So, everybody, we have Andrew Beardsley from Silverleaf Realty in the house with me. And the reason we have Andrew on, I think, is a few things. We want to kind of talk about what his business is doing now. He's focusing heavily, I think the perception is that he's focusing heavily on the Silverleaf area because of the name, obviously. There are other aspects to his businesses, other businesses within that business, and they are expanding at this point as well. But he's got a really cool story, and I think that's the main reason why we brought him on. He comes from a family of realtors, in the real estate business, and and I think this is something that maybe that you weren't intending to do or really even wanting to do because of that. So
yeah, I think a lot of people go to school, and I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Yeah,
truly. I had an idea of what I was good at. I knew I was good with people, and I think I always wanted to be in sales or be in management of people. My dad always did that. He owned a few businesses when I was younger, and I kind of have that calm, level-headed, even keel kind of a demeanor and easy to work with people. And then my mom's, she's the type A, zero filter,
right,
salesperson extraordinaire kind of thing.
Right.
And so I feel like I got a little bit of both of that. But
so when you were a kid, as I know you grew up here,
yep.
And your parents they were working down here were they with DMB before they moved to Flagstaff?
So not until my sophomore year of high school. My dad had a different business. My mom was a homemaker, PTA, the whole deal.
Okay.
Forest Highlands Golf Course Community in Flagstaff. They were opening a second golf course. They were going to do the whole lot sale deal, and
this is like 90 what?
This would be 98.
Oh,
98.
Oh, geez,
yeah.
God, I'm that old.
You are.
Because I worked there in 95 and 96.
It doesn't show. You look good. Yeah.
Yikes.
No, it was 98. I was a sophomore. They went up there, and my dad was running the office, sales office, and then my mom was one of the agents. So I moved to Flagstaff from Scottsdale in high school, which was just glorious.
A kid from Arcadia moving to Flagstaff High School.
A little different.
You fit right in, I bet.
Oh, yeah.
They loved you.
The clicks. No. So they were there selling it out, and I mean, it was like wildfire. I mean, the lots were going like crazy, and that was kind of their intro into real estate. And
well, back up, dude. So how did they even get that opportunity? Because that's like a huge opportunity.
Yeah. So my dad we're originally from Indiana, South Bend. We were potentially going to move back to Indiana to do kind of a business he was previously in. And I don't think they wanted to do that to me. My sister and brother were already gone. They were in college. And we're good friends with, a few people that are
at
DMB.
Okay.
And they kind of brought it up like, hey, we're doing this. Would you ever get into real estate? Would you ever think about it? And they both said yes, went and got their licenses.
So how big was DMB at that point? Because DC Ranch was already done.
DC Ranch was just starting to take off.
Okay. Because that struggled for a while too.
Yeah. So that was kind of mid-'90s when that started. Forest Highlands was 88. That was really their first big community that they did.
Okay.
And DMB does luxury, like high-end golf communities and you know, the whole deal. And so timing wise, DC Ranch was kind of going. They were going to open up this second course, and so they were still kind of a fledgling developer. I mean, they were well known locally.
Yeah.
And it just the timing could not have been better for everybody looking back on it. And they went up there. I mean, blew through these lots in a year or so, and towards the I'd say around 2000. Long story short, I'm in Flag. I end up coming back. You didn't want to be there. I didn't want to be in Flag stuff. Right. My parents knew that, and so they actually let me move back my senior year of high school and live with really good family friends.
Okay.
And so I had a nice pre-freshman year of college, as I would like to consider it.
You had a lot of freedom, basically.
Yeah. I had 4 years at U of A, but I had a 5-year college experience.
Wow.
So no, it was great.
Cool.
But when I went to college,
you graduated from Saguaro, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
And then decided to go to U of A.
Exactly right. And so when I was in college, DMB was just kind of starting the concept for Silverleaf. Mm-hmm. And it's adjacent to DC Ranch. It was going to be the next step up, very high end, larger lots, nicest course club kind of a concept. And they wanted my parents to come down and help work on the brand and run the office and do sales and all that. And they jumped at the opportunity. And so they've been there from the beginning.
Wow.
That was 20-ish years ago now.
So when did they break off from DMB and start?
So
like, how did the whole thing happen with Silverleaf Realty?
So it was DMB Realty originally.
Okay.
They're a developer. They want to sell the land. As we pushed through all the land sales, late probably 2007, 8-ish, as resale was really starting to ramp up. They're like, all right, we're working our way out. We don't want to be in the resale business. Mm-hmm. Our previous CEO took over the company. There was a minority partnership with DMB. Mm-hmm. And I came on in 2010, and so we were a couple years into that. It was at that time called DMB Realty Network.
Well, what year did you graduate college?
2004.
Okay, so
there was a gap
4 to 6.
Yeah.
What happened there?
I went and got a job for Johnson Capital, and so we were a commercial banker. And so I was doing commercial finance for pretty much all commercial properties, mostly with it was a small shop, and it was great because I kind of had a business development background coming out of school, and this was like getting a finance degree, which was great. And I was working for a few really, really good guys, probably I would say my earliest mentor, and we were doing big retail center like Vestar deals, Tempe Marketplace,
so
Desert
how does a group that small get those deals?
Relationships.
So they were somewhere before that they started their own little
the guy
deal.
I was working directly for.
Is his last name Johnson?
No, but he was partnered with Guy Johnson. So no, I mean he essentially was a 50-50 partner with him, but he Thunderbird.
Okay.
Good old Texas boy. I mean, as good as it comes, as quality of a guy as you can get. And so, I mean, this is a relationship business. These all are. And he took me under his wing and saw a future with me. And I think what he did was great. He put me on phone calls with people and would beat me up afterwards. Do this. We'd have a big important email to send. He'd go, hey, write our response, and then he'd redline it and go, well, this is just this. And I mean, so it puts you on the fence and puts that pressure on you. And so it was really great to have that experience with him. And he was kind of the guy that had the really big deals that he was doing, and then some other guys I was working for were just knocking out the consistent ones. So I saw 2 different kind of business plans there. And I worked for them for most of 06, 07, and it felt like it was the easiest job in the world, just printing money when everything was the heyday.
Were you getting your own deals, or were you kind of like
No, I was the senior financial analyst for the company. So I was just working off of these guys, putting marketing packets together, doing pro formas, rent rolls, that sort of stuff. I mean, making decent money for a 26-year-old, 27-year-old.
How much exactly were you making? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I couldn't even remember. No, honestly, probably like 75 grand.
Yeah.
And at the time, I'm like, this is crazy.
Right.
And, I remember beginning of 2008, we started to sense that things were going a little awry, and the institutional lenders were talking to Fannie, Freddie, all these, big companies were starting to give us reading the tea leaves.
Yeah.
And so we put together a big presentation, and in the spring of 2008, we're going around to a lot of the brokerage shops and going, guys, this is what we're seeing. This is what we're kind of feeling like is coming. And, you're talking to commercial brokers. They're like, oh, okay, yeah.
So what was what was the purpose of the presentation?
It was kind of like, you may want to advise your clients before they start buying this and that and get over levered and do this. I mean, there might be something really big coming.
Right.
Nobody wanted to hear it.
So what was the purpose of you guys doing that for them? It's almost like you were just giving them like a...
Because these are longtime clients. These are friends. These are people that... This is a tight-knit community. And it's like, guys, we don't want to be the ones that are, putting 90% leverage on something that's about to go in the tank in 6 months. And so it was... We knew we're not getting business out of this. Right. It was an advisory thing that we were doing. And so probably did not get received very well. Most were like, oh, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, whatever, we're killing it right now.
Right.
Brokers, Yeah. So it was what it was.
Oh,
and we were working most of that spring, summer for financing for Tempe Marketplace. That was just getting finished. Huge deal. Yeah. And we were in beginning of October, week from funding, and October of 2008, that day, the world just kind of stopped.
Yeah.
And selfishly for myself and my boss, 6 months of hard work every day, a huge deal for him, the biggest deal of his life, just went away. And a lot of people got out of the business quickly.
Yeah. So what happens to a deal like that? So the developers of Tempe Marketplace, they still have, they're still developing the property.
Right.
But now they put a halt basically and say, we don't need the money right now.
We don't need the money. We're just going to
do nothing.
We're just going to kind of hold it on our books. We'll be able to kind of fund it in-house.
Okay.
And so it really just... the outlook there. And then we started going to brokerage houses, and they were giving their presentations on what they then saw the outlook of commercial real estate being. And I remember a very successful, smart office broker this was 2008, goes, I don't see anything positive happening until 2013. So he was right. He was right.
Yeah.
You're looking 5 years in the future going, okay.
Do you think it took that long? Was it about 13? It was before
probably.
That. Okay.
I think certain deals were getting done, but back to what these guys were used to.
Right.
I think it certainly took that long.
Were you married yet?
No. Okay. So that was, I had just gotten engaged a few months before. We were getting married the next May.
You're good at timing, huh?
Yeah, it was great. And so I stuck around with them just because I knew that these were good guys. I'd learned a lot. And I remember that next year, 2009, got married, paid for a honeymoon, all that. I think I made maybe 20 grand that year. But what was interesting was that next year and a half, I learned so much more about the business, about how to sell, about what it takes to actually get a deal done than I ever did when we were making good money.
Right. Because it was just like falling.
Cool. Now it's like you got to. Yeah. Deals aren't just coming onto the table. You got to fight for it. And so I was calling people every day, cold calling. I remember having multiple button-down shirts in my car because I was sweating through shirts because I was so nervous calling people that didn't want to talk to me.
Yeah.
Their lives were ruined. Or they've got. I'm trying to sell them, this punk kid trying to sell them, money in a dead environment. But
you probably looked super young too because you look young now.
Yeah, the baby face.
Right. So you look like you're 16.
Take 13 years off of this. Thankfully, I was sitting in an office with a headset on, so they weren't seeing me. But No, it was hard, but I look back on that as the time where I actually figured out my style of selling, how to pitch people quickly. It made me realize what I want to sell.
Yeah.
And I saw the future of, okay, these guys are super successful, but they're sitting in an office with a headset on. And do I want to be here in 20 years?
Yeah.
So you get married, you start thinking differently.
Well, how did you back up even there? So you're making 20 grand, you're engaged. Like, how were you even like surviving? I mean, you must have been like
white rice and fried eggs
for real
with ketchup. We ate that a lot.
Yeah.
Strangely good.
Strangely good.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean,
So you just had an apartment,
we lived in the Palms Apartments on 44th and Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
And we just did. I mean, we were 27 at the time, 28. We were cooking at home, making cheap meals, getting by, hanging out. I mean, everybody was kind of struggling at that point. So it didn't seem abnormal because we didn't know. We were just getting by.
But still young.
Working hard every day. And then
you had a ton of friends though that were in the commercial space.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot because I know a lot. Like, it seems like everybody
friends
goes
my
from
brother-in-law is one of the top retail brokers. I mean, a lot of people that I knew. My boss was a Thunderbird, a previous Thunderbird, and so just locally, a lot of there were a lot of connections, but that didn't mean anything.
Did you see a lot of those guys just like flailing out?
One of the things my boss told me was when this happened, he's like, this is a historic moment in time, and you should feel very glad because you don't own a house, you don't have kids, you don't have a retirement that just got cut in half. Your portfolio didn't just get shredded.
Yep.
So you're going to learn from this, and hopefully you take something from this, and understanding how the markets go up and down. Next time this happens, be prepared for it. And I do feel very fortunate in that I went through that at the age I was and in the point of my life I was, because wherever we are now and wherever things are heading, I'm completely more prepared and understand that the shoe can drop.
Totally.
And I think that's always been my mentality in this business. I think that goes back to why I treat clients the way I do and why I treat every opportunity that I have very genuinely, because it's, to me, it can go away very easily. And whether it's a huge house, whether it's my friend that wants me to work for him, I take that opportunity and I'm thankful for it. I'm the one who's there. Like, I want to give them it. To me, it's a level of customer service that back in the back of my head, I always think, okay, I just sold that house. When am I going to get the next one?
Right.
Like, that's always in my head, no matter how much business I do. Or
do you think you're like a financially conservative guy?
Totally.
Okay. Yeah, you're not a flashy dude at all.
No, not at all.
You obviously make good money, but all right. So do you still speak to the guy that?
Yeah.
So is he still kind of like your life mentor? So
no, I mean,
now you're peers.
No. Because strangely, that then shifted to my mom.
Okay. Yeah.
Business wise, and my dad.
Right.
So I still am in touch with him, and I talk to those guys all the time, and I see him. But I think what he did in that chunk in my life was huge, and it laid this foundation. And then that allowed me, when I went to the next step, to.
So what was the next step? So how did that go? And then how did those guys take you leaving?
It was July of 2010, summer, and I remember my mom was like, "Hey, let's go to lunch," and I was like, "Okay." And we sit down, and it was just strangely organic thing. Like, I'd never thought about doing residential. I'd never thought about working with my parents. It just and they never talked about it, never pushed me to do it, anything. And so we're sitting there, and it was just kind of this, hey, would you ever think about coming to work with me? And I just was like, yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was,
I'm not one from afar though. You'd watched everything they'd been doing. You had seen the success. And at times you didn't sit back and go, this is appealing.
It was certainly commercials. The outlook's not great for a while.
Yeah.
But it was more of the lifestyle part of it.
Yeah.
I grew up in places like this. I love to golf. Like I caddied back in the day. I think that was a big part of knowing how to talk to very successful people. And I'm like, I want to be outside. I want to have a tangible product that I can sell now that I'm very comfortable selling.
Yeah. Dude, caddying at Forest Highlands, by the way, prepares you for a lot of stuff. Valeting cars there, washing shoes. I mean, I cleaned the shoes in the locker room.
I never had to do that.
Well, I started washing dishes there. Yeah. That was my first job there.
Oh, yeah.
But my roommates were all working there. We all were just, I mean, but you all of a sudden, you know, Charles Barkley shows up and to play golf. And you're
it gives you a level of comfort dealing with very successful type A kind of people.
Interpersonal communication.
They just want you to treat them like any other person.
Totally.
They do not want the yes man, yes woman. Oh, like,
the members want to hang out with you.
Yeah.
What they want to do.
Yeah. And so that
cool.
all of this kind of made me realize that. And when that opportunity opened up, I was like, let's do it. And, you know, you think about going to work with your parents.
Yeah.
It checks you a little bit.
Because you've never really seen that side of like, you know, how your parents work on a day-to-day basis.
No, truly. And so we made the move, and it was funny. The very first day, I'm sitting in the sales office, and I'm at the desk, and I'm, you know, bringing my commercial real estate analysis to it and putting Excel sheets together and doing all this sort of stuff. And I didn't know where anybody was, so I was like, "Hey, Mom," I like said like that. And one of the agents who's worked there for years. He leans back in his chair and he goes, "You got to get over that shit." I have not called her mom since that day. Like, no, even at home, even
really?
Like we're going to go to Thanksgiving, I call her Debbie, like to this day. And it was
Did she never say, "Call me Mom"?
No.
She's like, it's good.
No. It's Debbie.
That's her personality too, though.
No,
right?
No doubt. So, yeah, I mean, she, and I'll tell you what, I knew this was not coming in and just like, oh, you know, you're going to work with your mom. She's just going to feed you scrap. I'm like, no, it was, I was brought in to be, you know, needing to be a high performing, I mean, she's coming from somebody who was very good at their job, very successful, very tenured person. And I needed to come in and just not let there be a gap. And I knew that. And that's why I knew that this was going to work.
Did they have any systems and processes and stuff in motion, or did you kind of bring some of that stuff?
No, I totally. I brought
So you brought value to
without question.
Yeah.
And so more of the financial side of things to it, how to approach things when we're going for listing appointments, how to talk to people. I mean, this was 2010, so the market was not great. It was,
and they were still DMB.
Yeah, it was DMB Realty Network at that point. So it was our CEO. It wasn't really a DMB run house.
Yeah.
And it's funny because for a while, for years, it was Debbie's son.
Yeah.
I was not Andrew Beardsley, the real estate agent. It was, Debbie's son. And I understand that. I'm not I'm not shy to that. I mean, she's got longtime clients, and
which can be good too. I mean, it's from like a status standpoint. Like, you're proud of your mother, but like, you're like, I need to get out from underneath.
No doubt. And I'll tell you that, you know, anybody who's successful, anybody who's done well, anybody who has made a name or grown a business for themselves had a door open for them, had somebody, many people help them out along the way.
For sure.
Nobody just walks outside and, you know, does it on their own without any, I mean, everybody has that. And it's your job when that door is open. It's your job to kick the door down, keep it open, and then, you know, make sure everybody realizes that you're there and working your ass off to stay there. And that was my intention. And, you know, we're 10 years in now, a little over 10 years in. And, you know, it took a good half of that for me as a person to not be Debbie's son. Yeah. And now it's, you know,
she's
now
she's Andrew's mom.
Now I have people that are like, that have dealt with me, and she and I have a great business together, and as she's not slowing down anytime soon. She's 73 and still kills it.
Right.
If I can outsell my mom,
Yeah.
then I know I've done really well.
Right.
I don't know when that's going to happen.
Right.
That may not happen for a while.
Not happening.
No. But
so just a quick story. So when 9/11 happened, I was working at Solomon Smith Barney.
Yeah.
Trying to be a financial advisor,
Yeah.
and I also looked 12.
Mm-hmm.
And I had my first kid on the way, and my dad had been at Abbott Laboratories in pharmaceuticals since literally he graduated college. But it wasn't, the company, Abbott had acquired companies. But anyways, he was at Abbott at that time, and I was like, I'm never going to go do pharmaceutical sales.
Right.
I'm not going to drive a Taurus.
Right.
I'm not going to drive a minivan. I'm not going to do it. And I remember when it goes down, and it's like, my son he was born on September 30th. I was just like, can you give me a job? Like, please. And, so nepotism, so to speak. I mean, it is what it is. Like, I just but he never pushed me, but he had asked a couple of times, but I just finally was like, all right, that's the air conditioning.
Okay. I was wondering.
And I can tell you guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, and dude, connections, called a couple of his buddies that were managers in town and got an interview, and next thing I know, I'm a pharmaceutical salesman, and I got a silver Taurus.
Yeah.
And you know what? But you're right, though. You had to come right in, and it was like my dad was, and the first time I had seen my dad kind of in the work mode, but he was a legend.
Right.
Fucking cool. Everybody loved him, and
Yeah.
so it made things great. And but I also didn't. Last thing you want to do is fail, right? And embarrass your parents.
No doubt.
So I worked extra hard, to succeed in that job. So I totally get it. But even to this, like, my sister's working for us now too, and my nephew does the post production on this stuff,
Right.
and like, so like I love the idea of like we're gonna be flipping roles here, right? Where like you're gonna be, people are coming to you,
Yep.
or you're gonna be asking somebody in your family or a friend, you see somebody that you're gonna want to nurture and kind of bring into the business. So I mean, I think it's great. It happened for me, so to bring people along is awesome.
That's totally how I look at it, and I got to that point where it was, it felt like an opportunity at first, but then it was kind of I get to take what my family has done, the two people that I look up to the most in this world for what they did long before they even got into real estate.
Right.
They've built this unbelievable business, and I have the opportunity to continue that and make it my own, so to speak,
Yeah.
and take those relationships and continue that on, because this is a relationship business.
Yeah.
I mean, if you treat people well, they will treat you well.
When having conversations with my real estate partners, one of the things I always ask them is, how organized are you? Do you have a CRM system? Or do you have a drip campaign? Are you staying in contact with your referral partners, your clients, etc.? And a lot of agents do not, or they've gone through multiple CRM systems. I found a really good CRM system that I recommend. It's called Escrow, the letter S, grow. And immediately you're going to see an impact in your business just because of the automatic campaigns that are already pre-written for you. It's a great system, great system, easy to use, because I think that's one of the problems that people have. Things are already set up, templates are already created. All you have to do is put your contacts in and let it ride. So if you don't have a system, you're looking for a system, visit esgrowcrm.com for more information. Whose idea was it to basically buy out DMB, or is that how you guys did it?
So we had our previous CEO, DMB, had a minor partnership in it, and he was getting to the point where he was kind of ready to retire, and we were thinking, it was one summer, I think it was the summer of probably 2016 or so, and we were just talking about it, and like, what if we took this on? We took this on, my dad had owned a few businesses before. Again, he's great managing people. We had a few in our office that we just started talking about it more and more and more, and it gained traction. And then we approached our old CEO and just said, this is something we want to do. we would like to buy you out. We put an agreement in place, and it was about a year's worth of legalese and negotiations and all that, and essentially effective January 1, 2017, we took over the company. Myself, our broker at the time, our COO at the time, and then my parents were the new ownership group, and we created a new kind of umbrella company, which is Legacy Real Estate Partners, and underneath that umbrella we had Silverleaf Realty, Forest Islands Realty in Flagstaff, and then Verado Realty out west. Those were all bred from DMB communities. Okay. So community-centric selling.
So when you bought, you bought it like a package, right? So
yeah, I mean, it was all
in one.
We were all in one, and so
that's awesome.
Yeah, and we moved offices. We built out a new office up by the Village Health Club at DC Ranch, right by the gates of Silverleaf.
Were you guys in that, like the strip at DC Ranch for a while?
So we were on Market Street.
Okay.
So we had a sales office on the main level right next to the old San Felipe's, which is now the Jalapenos.
Yeah.
And then all of our office, like
the only thing to do there for a while.
Yeah, exactly. And then we had our all of our office space upstairs. So there was some disconnect there, and it was a lot of just restaurant traffic.
Yeah.
So we built out an awesome main level office space, a sales office up front, and it's just really cool. We kind of built it in our own eye, and
there's no foot traffic for that.
There's a little. I mean, we do have all of the hot yoga people that walk from the village right in front of our lunch window to the hot yoga office.
Yes.
Super.
You hate that.
Super great when you see sweaty people walking past you.
No.
So no, it's very little, and I think this year has really changed that dynamic of how you operate from an office. You have to shift how you reach people, how people are consuming information that you're giving them, and how people are buying real estate, because it's not sold a lot of real estate this year with people that aren't even sitting in Arizona.
Right.
And you're not even at the property. So
we talked a little bit about that before, because I was asking, like, how are you guys even getting, like, how are the deals coming to you? I mean, are they just like literally finding you on, like looking up Silverleaf and they're just finding you online, but it's referrals?
Most are referrals.
Yeah.
I mean, we're the original team up in Silverleaf.
Yeah. Sold
every single property there at least once.
Wow.
If not multiple times. So, I mean, there's long-standing relationships there, but, that core group really hasn't changed. I was the last agent to be brought on 10 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And, I mean, we've added a couple junior agents this year, and we have growth plans, but mostly through referrals and just who we've worked with. But at the same time, people will come online. We own silverleafrealty.com. We own silverleaf.com. We do a lot through the club. I mean, so we do the majority of the business in that community every year.
Right. It doesn't hurt. So, like, is anybody a member at Silverleaf?
All of the agents are.
Okay.
From the beginning.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
So it's like we've shepherded the brand of that place.
Yeah.
And we are, we sell a community-centric type of model, and we come from a developer model. And that's what's unique about what we do, is we're not like a typical brokerage where they come in, they get a high split, they get a desk fee, this fee, and we pay for everything. I mean, our company pays for everything for their agent. All your marketing, your insurance, we've got all your desk, computer, everything, all your fees, everything you have to do. You do not write a single check at all when you work for us as agents.
So how do they get paid? Did they get salaries?
No.
Okay, so
no. I mean, they just our splits are a little different.
Gotcha.
But what that does is, it keeps the agents focused on selling and not stressing about how am I going to pay for really good photos. Why don't I just get this guy?
Yeah.
No, we're going to get you the best of the best for whether it's a $300,000 house or a $10 million house.
Right.
When you take that stress off of people, it allows them time to
So
save.
what if you have like a $15,000 marketing budget on a house? Because sometimes you're going to have to do that for those $5 million things. It doesn't matter. Like it's all just
whatever.
it all works
Whatever.
itself
I mean,
out.
whatever needs to be done for that property, we're going to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we're not just going to burn money, but no, I mean, you need the crazy video. You need the beautiful 20-page, beautiful brochure. I mean, you do that. And so it's the complete antithesis of what a normal real estate brokerage is.
Yeah. I think there's people trying to do
it's
that.
Where it's going. I truly believe that's where it's headed because when things are great, sure, a 95% split, you know, all that works.
Right.
When it starts to get a little difficult and, you know, the agents.
Oleg and Tucker were talking, this is basically what they were saying, right? They're trying to do this. I mean, they do this.
I love those guys because what they're doing is very similar to what we do.
Yeah.
I mean, they're very community centric. You know, they started in Arcadia. They were at Biltmore, and they started in Arcadia. They build their own, you know, shop.
Relentlessly local is what their tagline is, right?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Which I think is awesome. And that's, you know, they're shepherding the brand of that place.
Yeah.
And they're selling everything that's great about that place, and that's what we do.
Yeah.
Just in a different dynamic. And then they're moving. They're going to open up another location, and we're getting ready to open up another location. I mean, there's a lot of similarities in what we are doing, and I think that's attractive to a lot of people.
Yeah.
But it starts with your reputation.
Right.
It starts with a great reputation from years of hard work, years of working people through successes and failures and helping people out. And I've always said that this business is like 10% advice, like real estate, and 90% therapy.
Right.
Truly. I mean, you're texting people. I mean, it's...
Dude, I mean, going through... I've actually probably never asked this question to somebody that does like the really, really high-end deals. But when you're dealing with like a $5 to $15 million house, because, I mean, what's the most expensive home you guys have done?
We had a $26 million listing that we rented out for $75,000 a month.
Okay.
No, but we probably $11 million that we sold.
The stress level on selling something because there's not that many people that have that much money.
I mean, you're looking for one person.
Right.
For a lot of these.
So you get in this situation where the person you're listing it for, you know, regardless of how good a relationship or you even sold it before or you were the agent for them when they bought it, you know, whatever is in their mind of like how quickly they want to get rid of it, right? Yeah. So you're never going to be perfect, right? So they're going to be like, why isn't this selling?
Well,
what are you doing?
You have to lay a foundation pretty early on that
this could take a
guys, this is not
right.
This is not LA. This is not New York City.
Yep.
This is an expensive house in Arizona.
Yeah.
I mean, things are shifting right now.
Yeah.
A little bit. This is becoming a different kind of a market. But the reality is, guys, this is going to take a while. It's a numbers game, and we may not see somebody for a month. We may not see somebody for 2 months. But you have the best marketing in place you can possibly have. I mean, it's curbing expectation because a lot of these people are coming from places where they've had places in Manhattan and they've had places in
Malibu,
Montecito, and stuff sells within a week over list price, and they have that sort of expectation.
Yeah.
So it goes back to being the expert in the room. Goes back to the days of commercial real estate. They may have bought and sold more houses personally than you've done this year.
Yeah.
But they called you, they're talking to you, you're the expert here. I may still look like I'm 20 years old, but hey, this is what you need to know. Like, I'm going to tell you how we're going to get this done, and people respect that.
Yeah.
They want you to tell them
you need to be the
what
doctor,
they need
they're the
to
patient.
hear. No doubt.
Yeah.
And people at a very high level, I think anybody wants to feel like that you got them. You got them covered, and you know what is best. And it may be something that they don't want to hear. And that's what I learned from Debbie early on. Like she may have no filter, but it's not in a bad way.
Yeah.
I mean, she's not just going to go off the rails.
Tells it like it is.
She's not going to just say what you want to hear. She's going to tell you exactly what you need to hear.
Yeah.
And some people may not like that, but they respect it. And more times than not, they're going to go, okay, let's do it.
I mean, I heard a long time ago that the whole doctor-patient analogy or parent-child analogy is in sales is such a huge deal because you're setting the tone of like who's in charge.
Yeah.
Like, listen, just trust me.
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing.
Yes.
And just, you have to, and the expectation is a huge part of it all, right? Setting the correct expectations and
Well, emotions can get really high.
yeah.
A lot of people at this level, or not. I mean, it's a financial transaction and that's all it is.
Yeah.
For most people, selling a house is a very emotional deal. You're living in, it's the biggest investment you're probably ever going to make.
Right.
This could be 3, 4, 5 house.
Yeah.
They bought it and they may spend a few weeks here. It's ridiculous to think. I mean,
Yeah.
you get kind of jaded being around these sorts of situations, but you again, you'll get calls at 10:30 at night and just super emotional, stressed out, angry, this, that, and you take the call.
Yeah.
And
You're a therapist, like you said.
my wife knows that.
Yeah.
She's learned. And so she doesn't get too up, too down, because she knows I'll be doing that. And that's
How long did it take for her to kind of go, okay, or even you, like, right, like, okay, this is what's going to be happening now, like, we're going to be getting these calls.
a good few years.
Yeah.
But one of the very first things I was taught, it's very simple. Pick up the phone.
Yeah.
If someone's calling you, pick up the phone.
Yeah.
If you miss it, call them back.
Yeah.
Like right away.
Yeah.
If somebody emails you, respond.
People love that.
It's
It's the ones that don't do it.
like, it's mind blowing.
Oh yeah.
How
There's plenty of
often
those,
to this day I'll call somebody back and they'll be like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for calling me back. Well, yeah, you call me.
Right.
I'll
Right.
call you back.
Because expectations with other experiences show that the people don't. In
No.
this business is the same way.
Yeah, and if you are available for people and they can trust you that you are available, and when they reach out, you will be there.
Yeah.
That is a huge thing in this business, in any business, in any relationship. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's a relationship. It's trust. It's loyalty. It's all of that.
So
I'm gonna interrupt you guys. I'm just looking at the time.
where we at?
We're at 42 minutes right now.
I was just going to wrap.
Okay. Well, one of the things that I want to, and it's a little selfish, but since you have Verado Realty
Yep.
under your belt, we have not talked to any of your business in the West Valley yet. And I know you don't personally, but your company does.
Mm-hmm.
So if you could maybe talk a little bit, because we're all.
Well, can I just ask? So let's go back to Forest Highlands. You got a spot up there. Then you said Verado.
Yep.
And can I say that, like, Trisha used to live out in Verado,
And I worked.
and she worked at DMB out there.
Yeah.
Which is an amazing
Yeah.
community. It's not. It's just it's for different.
It's a lower price point, but way more transactions
Yeah.
than we
Yeah.
do.
and selling community.
So I just.
Sorry to interrupt. but
No, it's
I
fine.
think
I'll go now.
important.
Yeah.
It's the West
All right.
Valley.
For
Yep,
sure.
Yeah. All right. I'll go there now.
Okay.
So let's go to. So you said Forest Highlands. You guys have an office like right outside Forest Highlands, or is it in the property?
It's
or?
right at the gate.
It's right at the
So,
gate.
I mean, it's
Okay. Is that the same one that was there forever?
same one there
Okay.
from the very beginning.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then Verado, which is out in
Verado.
Buckeye.
Yep. Out
Um,
west. And
which
so
is-
that's another DMB
Yeah.
great community
That's
out there.
a huge community.
It is. And it saw crazy, growth in the early 2000s as Phoenix was growing. Everybody was going out for available land. And
Right. She was.
yeah.
So Trisha.
Yep.
Trisha, she moved out there to help with that property with DMB.
When my brother was there too.
Yeah. Oh
for a
yeah.
while.
You're right. That's right.
Yeah.
He worked for you, didn't he? Kind of worked with. Sorry,
Ish.
with.
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah.
So, but dude, there was times where besides the fact that it just took a long time to get out there, the vibe out there though, when my kids were real young,
Right.
I mean, how many times did I go back and forth like, I think I want to move here?
Well,
Because it's an amazing
And that's
community
what-
for suburban life.
that's what DMB does really well is they
Yeah.
create this place.
Yeah.
And I mean, they created this Main Street vibe, and
Right.
you're out in the middle of Buckeye, and
Yeah.
then you all of a sudden pull up and you've got shops in this main street and tree-lined streets and beautiful parks, and you just kind of, it's romantic, and,
Yeah.
and people really fell in love with it, and it's a different price point, but it's
Dude, great golf course.
Yeah.
The country club, or not the country club, but the golf
Yeah,
club,
they've got the
whatever.
golf club.
I mean, it's super nice.
Yep.
And
you've got, I mean, you've got something for everybody out there. And so they're doing a ton of deals this year. I mean, they're seeing
okay.
a lot. I mean, they're having a great year.
That's awesome.
Forest Highlands is having a great year. I mean,
Forest Highlands,
in March, when everything kind of was starting to get crazy, we're all looking at each other. Partners are going, should we be worried about, discretionary income, second homes? Like this business might go in the tank.
Yeah.
And
all of a sudden everybody's
who know, hey, if you're going to be quarantined in the summer, let's not be in Phoenix. And Forest Towns is going to do more than double than they did last year.
Dude, at one point I heard that there was only 10 houses for sale in there.
At one point there's one.
Okay.
One.
So somebody I know bought a house in there in like April and was already like, hey, if you want to make a couple $100,000, sell it.
Most of the houses are selling before they even hit the market.
Yeah.
I mean, we got all of our agents, but one of them, he's like, I've got 10 people on the list that I'm going to call before it even hits the market.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And our group is going to do $100 million more than we did last year. Just Silverleaf Realty. I mean, it's a crazy year.
How many agents do you guys have out at the Verado location?
5.
5.
And 5 at Forest Towns and 8 for Silverleaf Realty.
So from a hiring standpoint, so let's talk about Silverleaf. Well, actually, so you said you were potentially going to bring some new people on.
Yeah, we're expanding very methodically.
Yeah.
We're opening a new office in Old Town, probably beginning of the year.
Do you have agents in mind, or do you think that people are just going to
It's more of a secondary office for.
Okay, so you'll be.
But we fully intend to use that as a flagpole down there. I mean, I think the misconception years ago was all we do is sell Silverleaf, which I get.
Right.
But for the last 5 years, I mean, that's ramped up tremendously. More than half of our business this year is outside of Silverleaf.
So is it like where? North Scottsdale, PV?
North Scottsdale, PV, Arcadia, around. My
so
business,
the same people that might have used you in Silverleaf, they're like, hey, now I want to move to Arcadia.
At this level, there's few areas people are really focusing.
Yeah.
I mean, people are coming in from Chicago, California, Northwest, New York. I mean, they know Paradise Valley is one of the greatest towns to look in. They know Arcadia is a really awesome family vibe, centrally located. If you want to be in a country club, if you want to be a little further north, Guard Gate, all that, Silverleaf, DC Ranch. I mean, you stay in that realm. And so the thought is, when we meet clients with the locations that we have, they don't have to leave us.
Yeah.
We can go take you to PV. We can go take you to Flagstaff if you want to look for a summer home. If you've got somebody looking out west, if you've got kids that are looking, we've got agents in Sedona now. We've got agents in Prescott. So we don't have to give them up and go recommend that they go meet the local expert. I mean, we are the boutique brand that can take
You're
you
like
anywhere.
A concierge.
No doubt. I mean, that's that white glove level of service is kind of our intent.
So do your parents live out
They're in DC Ranch.
They're in DC Ranch?
Yeah, they've been up there since they moved back from Flag.
Okay, so the new office is going to be where?
Right off of Main and Goldwater.
So you've already got it?
We've got it. We're starting the demo, and we'll see. Construction's a little busy right now, so we're shooting for
It's
January
hard to find
1.
people to do. So
yeah,
everybody's so busy right now.
But we're excited for what it
yeah.
might be. I mean,
Right.
office space is so unique now. It may be more of just a pop-in,
Yeah.
common place. We can still flex with it, but it's certainly going to be used as a tool for, you know, agents to know that we're out there. And
Yeah.
when I always kind of post stuff for sales and successes, kind of like we sell everywhere.
Yeah. Okay.
Because that's
your marketing piece.
that may be mine. That may
Yeah.
be the misconception, because we do. I mean, we still get people.
Oh,
that
totally.
think
I
that.
didn't know actually until you just told
Right.
me. So
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
So before we wrap up, I think it's important to talk about a little bit like the community side of things that you're involved in. Obviously, you became a Charo,
Yep.
Scottsdale Charo, like a year ago now.
2 years ago.
Okay, 2 years ago.
Yep.
So you do that. Besides all the things that you guys do with that, from a brand and stuff, are you guys involved in any other things? Or?
Yeah. So our group is involved. Our ownership group's involved in a lot. One of our partners is heavily involved in JDRF, juvenile diabetes research. We do
Did
a
you
lot.
guys know that? Did you know that? Her daughter's type 1 diabetic.
Okay. And her
Yep.
son is our Corinne Girardin. And so do great things there. My wife is involved in Panda, and so that's a lot. They raise $3 million at one luncheon for University of Arizona for kids, and
you want to see things go for auction that are worth as much.
They do a great job at tugging at your heartstrings in a great way. And it's cool people show up and pay up, which is great.
Yeah.
And then I'm involved with the Scottsdale Charros, and we raise a ton of money for Scottsdale schools and education, which is, pretty paramount this year, and just kind of navigating that dynamic. So
cool, man.
Certainly.
Well, yeah. I mean, did you guys have something this weekend for the chart? Were you there? I saw a picture with Stu doing something down in Old Town, riding a horse.
Oh, yes. So that was Blitz Day. And so that's kind of the lead up to spring training.
Oh, okay.
And you got guys riding horses through Old Town.
Yeah.
And, it's talking to local merchants and getting them involved, and wanting them to be a part of Scottsdale Stadium, and it's spring training for the Giants. And so it's a hard year because we don't know what events are going to look like.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, is it so the spring training at the Charro Lodge?
Mm-hmm.
That's one of your biggest events, right? If not the biggest event.
Yeah. So we have the Charro Lodge in the right field of Scottsdale Stadium, and 300 capacity plus.
Yeah.
I'm probably getting that number wrong, but
totally
redid it last year. 2 levels. You buy tickets to it. You've got season tables people take. And it's an awesome event. It's an awesome day.
Yeah, it's super fun.
And, we pretty much run the spring training experience through February and
they can buy.
March.
People can buy everything. The tables are for sale as far
You've
as
got
like
tables, banners, banner sales, programs, 50-50 raffle, all of that. And so that's our big push, our big fundraising effort for all of our give that we give throughout the year.
Well, obviously we always do something.
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Yes, you do.
Even before that, though.
Yes, you do.
All right. So the last thing we like to do is it's called rapid fire. So just 5 questions, maybe 6. I might add one to it. So it could be one word, or you can just, keep it short, though.
Keep it rapid?
Yeah, keep it rapid. So the first thing is, what's your favorite word?
Relax.
Relax. That's a good one.
I say it a lot.
Just relax.
I say it a lot.
Okay. That's not what your mom says?
I say it to her a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I say it to most people a lot.
Yeah.
And it's funny because a friend of ours that I went to high school with, who moved into our neighborhood again like a year or so ago. I totally forgot this, but she's like, I just remember you always just say relax. I'm like, wow, really? Okay.
I still do.
Yeah, I still do.
All right, what's your favorite movie?
Shawshank Redemption, probably.
It's a classic answer.
That's a hard one.
It's kind of a cliche answer, but we'll go. That's fine.
Fight Club.
Fight Club. Good. There you go.
A little more provocative.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. We had Wizard of Oz the other day. I was like, interesting.
Strange.
Go deep.
Okay.
So if you could do another career besides what you're doing now, what would it be?
Professional golfer.
That's good. Me too, but I'm not good
like
at
a really good
professional
golfer.
Like a hypothetical.
Yeah, not just the travel and hotels good. And scratching
not the Corn
make
Ferry
the cut.
Tour. That would be good too, right?
That's where you got to start. You got to start there.
Exactly. So what gets you out of bed every day? What lights you up?
Another cliche. I have found something I really like to do.
You enjoy your
my
job.
wife also thinks I'm weird because I wake up early and I just pop up out of bed. So I think it's just the way I'm built. But no, I truly enjoy what I do. And
that's awesome because most people don't. Right?
Yeah, I know.
It's rare to be able to do something that you actually like doing, and plus you get to work with your family.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I'm not sitting in an office, wearing a coat and tie and sitting in traffic all day. Like, you get to make your own schedule. You get to have freedom here and there. It's not like Monday through Friday and then you stress on Sunday that it's Monday. I don't live like that. And it's cool and I love it, and I couldn't imagine going back to that.
And for your work-life balance, right? Obviously, you can do whatever you want to do. If you need to be doing something, family-wise, you can do it. which
Totally.
is which a lot of people don't have that
Right.
that freedom. So the last question is, what are you reading right now or listening to right now? Because I know a lot of people just do audiobooks and stuff like that.
I tried to do audiobooks, but I can't.
So do you read books?
Yeah, not as
You
much
have
as
before?
Yeah, I have read a book. Yeah. my wife would say, "Oh yeah, what book?" No.
Well, maybe what's like your favorite?
So right now I'm reading The Secret Leaders Keep by Amy Kay. I mean, she was a builder, had a presentation, and she came and spoke, and I had the book, and I literally threw it in my nightstand 2 years ago, and been reading it for the last couple weeks. The Secret Leaders Keep. Yeah. It's just kind of a cool chapter by chapter story from CEOs, business owners, things like
that's
that,
cool.
and kind of how they came up with it, and it's just
So it's like an individual, like there's individual stories throughout.
and it's nice little anecdotes from each one, certain stuff like that. What am I listening to?
No, I mean, it was either one or the other, so you're good.
Okay.
You don't have to think besides country music or whatever it is you're doing. I'm just kidding. That's not your thing.
It becomes your thing in the Charos. Yeah.
It's circumstances, right?
100%.
Me too.
It grows on you when you're out in the middle.
It does,
of nowhere.
dude. Hey, man.
It does.
Some of the best times out there.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, thanks again for coming on.
Yep.
It's been great. This is a really good
pleasure.
episode. I think that we learned a lot. Some of these they've all gone really well. But it's nice sometimes when you dive a little bit deeper and the stories get cooler and cooler. So thanks again to Trisha over here, my sister.
Yep.
I would just say my sister, but now I'm saying Trisha because that's her name.
Yeah.
And my nephew Trey, who does the post-production. And obviously VIP Mortgage, this is our space here. The cameras are pointing this way.
Yep.
And Tsunami and Escrow, which are sponsors of this podcast as well.
Let me interrupt you and say thank you. I think you're doing a great job.
Appreciate that.
You have wonderful relationships around this town, and I think listening to what Stu said about how you make people feel just like the guy, the person, the woman, you make people like it's true. And there's a reason people are coming to do this and are interested in asking to do it. And you guys do a great job. I mean, I worked with you guys earlier this year for
your own deal,
refinancing my own house, and the Crawford team knocked it out. So
Stu's amazing. The whole team's amazing. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So we really appreciate the support.
Yep.
That wraps up. Thanks again. And we're out.
Thanks, guys.
Real Talk is brought to you by Tsunami. We all know that we should be doing more videos than we are doing. And one of the hesitations for myself is that I don't feel like I do a very good job filming them. I get nervous about the way they're going to look. And I am pretty sure that most people feel the same way as I do. So Tsunami is a product that will allow you to film your own videos, and you can send those videos via the app that you can download on the App Store, and they will make the video look professional because it is done by a professional editing team. So you want a header, you want a footer, you want to just look better in general. And for the cost, it's unbelievably inexpensive. So if you're looking for video help, this is the best way to go about doing it, especially if you want to film videos on your phone like we all should. So it's Tsunami with an X, and that's it.